Hey everyone, here today to introduce our brand new Softbox photo gallery widget. So what this widget is it's a beautifully styled and designed lightbox gallery. So as you can see, when I mouse over these items, we get kind of this hover state. But if I click on any of them, it brings up a light box, and within the light box we have project information on the left. So of course we have title, a description, and in this case we've kind of framed this as a photographer's portfolio. So we have things like the aperture and whether the flash was on. But then the interesting thing about this gallery is to the right side, we actually have another kind of sub photo gallery that you can showcase actual project photos in. If we move down to the buttons on the left corner and click Next Project, you can see that the whole frame here changes. Now this is the office and we have a different set of photos. So what that's done is actually moved us from the cantina to the next one here, the office. So you can actually click through those arrows and cycle through an entire page of projects in your portfolio simply using this gallery. Now this gallery is reminiscent of our older gallery called the Genius Gallery, except we've really meticulously designed this one to make it easy for you to edit and easy for you to style. So let me jump into Muse and show you how to set this thing up. Okay, so jumping into Muse, you can see here I have a blank canvas, and I've already downloaded the widget and installed it. Now with this widget, it has SVG files included with it, which we can't embed. So when you download the Softbox Gallery widget, you'll see that you get a zip file, and within the zip file you have the MuLib, which is the widget, and then 3 SVGs that you can relink to the widget. So you just need to double click the MuLib file and it will import into Muse just like every other widget. Okay, now that you've got this in Muse, let's just click on it and drag it out on the page. Okay, let me close the library window so we can see what's going on here a little better. So when I drag this out on the page, we've got two elements. We've got the gallery itself right on the canvas, and way off to the right, we've actually got the light box area. So you can turn this on and off within the widget by simply bringing up the flyout panel and turning off this show light box parts while editing. But I recommend you have it up at all times. You can leave it off to the side of the canvas like that, and it's not going to affect anything. But what it does is it makes it really easy to edit. So you can see if I click on, say, the office, then the cantina, then street view, that we actually get to see what's going to appear in that light box. So you might as well leave this up at all times while you're editing. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a whole new category within this portfolio. So I'll zoom back in a little so it's easier to see. We'll go to 75, okay. And now below Street View, I'm going to add another box. So what I need to do is click this plus sign beside the composition. So let's click that plus. There, and when I do that, you can see that we get this other box. It's another trigger area, and it's appearing kind of off to the side in the wrong place. So let's just click on that and move it down underneath. So I'll move it down here. Scroll down a bit, and let's maybe stretch this out so that it kind of takes up the width of this gallery. Okay, something like that. Good. Okay, so now you can also see that on the right side in our light box, it's empty. So we now need to copy over everything from our other portfolio items. But the first thing I'll do is let's just style up this kind of button in a way so that it looks like the rest. So we would go ahead next and apply a different fill to it. Up here in the fill menu, you can see that we have an image applied. Now, one thing to make note of is because I have it clicked on right now, we're only filling the active state. So let's change that to the normal state. Now let's replace the fill. So we'll bring up the fill dropdown. We'll select images. And I have these images of these drinks. So let's click open. There. So now it's replaced it, and I can, of course, scale this to fit or size it. Let's scale the fill there. Okay, perfect. So the next thing we'll do is copy and paste some of this kind of text down from one of our previous items. So I'm just holding Shift and selecting all the items. And now I'm going to hold the Option key, which is going to duplicate that and drag it down onto the next item. And even though it looks like it's appearing below, when I let off or drop the key, it's going to appear above just like that. So then we can just simply change this text. Let's call this, say, Party View. And we'll leave View This Project the same as we have on our other items. There. So now the button's set up exactly how we want it. So now we can turn our attention to the actual light box area of this widget. I'm going to zoom out a little bit again so it's easier for us to kind of work within the lightbox at the same time. So let's click on one of these other projects. Let's go to the office, for example. And now what we need to do is we need to copy all of the elements within this container into the container for our new project, which is Party View. So what we've done to make this as easy as possible is we've actually grouped certain elements together. So if I kind of inspect this a little closer, you can see that we have our main container, which I can click on. Within that, we have our target area. So remember, triggers and targets are how compositions work. And within that, we're going to be able to select the individual elements within the lightbox. Now, in this case, we have a group on the left side, and this group includes all of the text, all of the icons, basically everything you need. And on the right side, we have a composition. So I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm going to click that as well. So now we've got the group on the left and the composition on the right, both selected. I'm going to copy those, just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to click on the portfolio item we want to edit. And when I click on that trigger, you can see that it's blank. Now let's click once into the container and let's click again into the target area. So it says up on the left side, we're in the target. Now we need to paste those items. But what I recommend is we hold down Control and click, and you want to hit paste in place. So it's going to put them in the exact same spot as they were in the other lightbox. So when I click paste in place, you can see everything goes in really smoothly and perfectly. So there, we've just duplicated our lightbox project, and now you can go ahead and just style these up and change project info as you want. So in this case, we could say it was Party View. We would, of course, change the info below. We could change this. Let's say it's 35K. And everything's looking good. So now let me preview this in the browser. There, so when I preview in the browser, you can see we have all of our projects. When I mouse over this project and click on it, we now get the Party View version on screen. So the next step is to replace the images that are included within the lightbox. And this is really easy to do. You can simply update the assets. So back in Muse, on the lightbox we want to edit, this composition on the right side is actually a completely separate widget from this original composition. It's kind of a composition within a composition. So the way that you can edit these images really easily is if you just control click on them and you select replace background image, then we can select a completely new one. I have this one which matches our set, and click open, and now it appears in that area. You'll also need to change your triggers out too, because in a composition there is no link to what you're putting in the target area to the trigger. It simply controls it. So let's go ahead and control click and replace the background image on this bottom one as well. We'll do the same image. Okay, and we might want to move this. Let's say position it center, and we'll leave it at original size so it's a little bit unique. And then let's click the second trigger here, and we'll change the target area again, replacing the background image with that one, and I'll do the same for the trigger. Okay, perfect. I'll change the scaling options again, just like it did, and I'll maybe position this so you can see it a bit different. There you go. So now we've duplicated this entire portfolio gallery into a completely new section that we can style and we can add new photos to. So let me bring this up in the browser just to confirm it's all working one more time. So when we click on the first one, the office, of course the photos are working. We can click next project, and it's going to cycle us through all the ones we have on the page. And now we have the Party View project here visible right within our gallery. So everything seems to be working really well, and I think we've set this up pretty much perfectly from the get-go. So it's easy to do. It's much easier than some of the older galleries that have been pre-styled, and we hope you enjoy using this widget on your portfolio. Thanks again for watching, and best of luck. Cheers.